It was past.
Or Jacqueline Dupre. You liked Jacqueline Dupre.
Yeah, because she has this big, you know, rubato type playing thing too. Jacqueline Dupre. She did it, you know, when she was young. She just had that.
Right.
It's just like that next step up from getting all your technique. I think you get the next step up, which is this real musicality and this fullness, and you just emote, you know, it comes out of your heart. And somebody else that you don't hear much about, cellist, is Misha Maisky. He is really good. And I hear him on records. Now, he's getting better all the time. And he plays everywhere, but he's not prominent.
No.
And yet he is very good.
Well, these days it's like you need a publicist.
I guess.
To get your name out in public.
I guess so.
If you don't, then... Well, I mean, you know, everything's this whole big media game these days.
Yeah, if you don't push it. But, I mean, I don't know how Yo-Yo Ma did it. Of course, he was
always out doing...
Yeah, he's done so many other things too with many people.
I'm sure that his agents pushed him a lot in the beginning. I mean, that's the difference now. You have this whole Hollywood mentality for all the classical musicians who now they all look like models. You know, it's not all the singers now, they have to be thin. You know, they get prejudiced against if they're fat. I mean, look at what happened with what's her name?
That had the stomach tuck.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You know, what's her name? Anyways.
Yes, all right. So
well, I'm just saying society changes and it puts these sort of limitations on everything. Oh, you have to look pretty.
And the sad part is
perfect.
Like in movies and TV, you know, it's all the makeup and it's all the airbrushing of like in pictures and stuff. So nothing is real.
No.
It's really sad. At least music is real. If the performers, you know,
unless it's a tape.
Yeah, unless then they put the extra notes in there.
Like
that's
we're
true.
Going back to that. Well, that's recordings. I mean, that's happened for a long time. Even that Kirsten Flagstad thing where she was doing that Valkyrie and they inserted Elizabeth Schwarzkopf high note.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
That was
nothing is real. What's real? We're real.
We're real. We screw up and we're human and we're full of faults and we're ugly, but we're pretty too. So.
Yes, so that's it.
And we're not famous, so.
No, so that's life.
So if you're human and you're faulty like a real human, then
you don't get you don't get rich. You don't get rich and famous.
Yeah, but who needs money? We get to perform. So.
That's right. We have fun.
And we enjoy music.
We sure do.
Yeah, so that's
okay. Well, the novelty thing that I was mentioning before is when I was in Heidelberg, it had to be more than the 600th anniversary because that university is 600 years, but of the city,
it was about 800
or maybe 1200. I don't know.
It was more than that because I thought that was like 11.
Well, it could have been 1200. Well, anyway, the point was that someone wrote a concerto or a piece for all the bells in the churches
in the city.
To play, you know, I mean, all together.
Down in the Alterstadt.
The whole, it must have been 8 or 10 churches.
But down in where the style is.
There, but it's further out. But the thing...
Across the river, probably, too.
Maybe. But, like, I got up, like, in back, not directly in back of the castle, but more to the left, whatever that.
You mean
up above on the hill to see it because I wanted to try and tape it. And actually, one of the churches was quite close to me.
Yeah.
And they played that, you know, and there were thousands of people out there to hear it because they all had like the same kind of melodies and they all took turns. And I mean, and it was written for each of the churches. It was timed. And I just thought that was the most unique thing I have ever heard. I mean, the bells on churches in Germany, in Europe are so wonderful anyway. And they have such really great sounds. They're not, I don't know if they're I don't think they're electronic. I mean, the bells are real. The bells are real.
Some of them are electronic.
Yeah, they might be electronically done, but by the caroler or Coralon or whatever you call it. The guy or guys that plays them, they're not all, you know, doing the ropes, I suppose. But the fact
they do that in England. Remember how they were complaining about in England? They do that. Would you stop ringing those bells?
But it was so fantastic to hear that. that somebody had the idea to do that, I think was marvelous too. You know,
who was the composer person?
I don't know.
A church person or something.
I really don't know. I mean, it wasn't a famous person that
That
I
reminds me when we
recognized.
were in Frankfurt and we went out on New Year's Eve. And we walked in the back to where the stairwell was, and we looked out over Frankfurt, and the fireworks were going off all over the place.
Yes. For an hour, the fireworks in Europe or in Germany, I guess, basically.
It could be a European thing. I don't know.
Every town, every little town has fireworks. It is just marvelous.
But that was amazing because it was just like the whole.
Yeah, the valley. We could see the
everywhere.
whole valley.
That was pretty amazing.
Yes, it was really good. And another, this is a novelty kind of thing. The Frankfurt Opera did some really unusual stagings, which they do in Europe.
You talk about the shoes?
Well, that was interesting too. But this
The
one,
Meistersinger.
they did La Traviata, and they did it as Nazis and Jews. She was a Jewish person, and the Nazis were there at the party and all that, and then one of them fell in love with her, and then she, she's gonna. Oh, it worked great. The last scene was in a train station, and you had this huge train.
So she didn't have. She wasn't.
Yeah,
sick.
she did.
Sick.
Same story. So this big front of the train there, and then all the sitting in the next to the tracks, and she's sitting there dying, and she's got the Jewish ribbon and all that.
To a
she was
camp.
going, and so when somebody comes, but she, the people with her. I mean, it was fantastic. It was really impressive, like that. And of course, the thing is that. Germany, there's that Nazi stuff. It's still they don't want to talk about it, or if they do, they don't want to hear about that.
There's a law that if you even say the word, if you say
a lot of it is illegal to do, like the
Sikh
all that. But to have that in the opera, and it really made sense. The whole thing made sense.
That would make
I
sense.
thought that was a great idea. Really great. I always remember that opera because of that. So. It was very good. I saw one on television from in Switzerland, which there's one city that Bergans, I guess, that has the stage in the water.
Yeah,
it's in the water. And what the heck? Which opera was it? They all came on ships. Well, they did the Flying Dutchman, but I don't think that's the one I saw. And they come.
They came in boats.
Came in boats there and left in boats and all that. It was
like
really
Lohengrin or something.
No, it was. Oh gosh, it wasn't
Italian. German,
it was an Italian
Russian.
one. I'm trying. I'll think of it. But anyway, the idea that you can have something where the boats come in and all that is really
well, it's like
unique.
at the Heidelberg Castle they have.
Those things are very interesting. I mean, and you have to have some different little interesting things to get other people
but
to
see,
come
that's
and
the nice
see it.
thing is they have the government supporting the arts, therefore they have the opportunity to do these different productions. Like here, it's like you got to worry about selling tickets and making money so that you can pay for the production so that people come in and see it. It's like this whole
you can't get too far out.
Gets stifled because you got to be concerned about if this is too outlandish, then your base will not buy tickets for next year's season because they'll think, well, all these operas are going to be like this.
It's sad.
Anyway, so
it's fun to live in Europe.
Yeah, well, yes. But it's a different situation with all that. Plus, you have, like we've talked about, opera houses in every single town.
Right. And they have...
And that's not just Germany. That's also in France and, and stuff.
Right.
I mean, they
even
have the opera
Mulhouse there has opera.
Yes,
and
they do.
And then going up to Strasbourg and Colmar. I mean, that's all along the river there. They all have that. And they all have orchestras, too.
That's true.
That's just...
And concert halls, so you can have all these concerts. Classical music concerts, not just pop concerts.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's
mostly. They have that too, but I'm just saying classical music is like an everyman thing.
Everybody knows it. Yeah, everybody appreciates it.
I'm saying, you got the young people that go to the stuff. You go to an opera house in Europe, you see tons of young people. You go to an opera house in the United States, it's all white hair.